discussing all these problems, next part is how to represent object, how to create model database or how to represent that object, how to calculate that features, how to define that features. So given object, how it can be defined. This is what we are discussing in this object representation part. Now, if I look at object, I have two types of views or representation schemes. One is object centered and other is viewer centered or observer centered. If I focus only on object, then my view becomes object centered. My reference frame is aligned to object and my camera frame is aligned to object frame. So the view is object centered. But remember, camera is not always closer. Another aspect is from camera point of view. If you look at that, so camera is here and object is here. So this object in relation to camera. So where is your camera frame? That will be now reference frame and object frame is aligned to that camera frame. In a first case, object is here. It might be steady. So we move our camera to the object. Are you understanding? So object is now giving some instance or some time or it is giving you chance for capturing image. So object is here. So we align our camera to the object. So view is from object centered or from object. Other case camera is here and object is in free environment. Now object is adjusting to the camera reference. So object is moved such that it comes in a frame. If you have captured anytime photographs, there are two types. For example, if you go for passport photograph in studio, so camera is fixed. Now photographer asks you to move here and there. You align to the camera frame. So what is inside camera frame? That is part. In other case, suppose you want to capture a particular moment in a dynamic part. So where is object? You search object and align your camera to the object. So camera is adjusted for the object. This is what called as object centered view. So whether you are looking from object side or whether you are looking from camera side, these are the simple parts of this representation scheme. When I go for object centered representation, every view is possibly available. So we focus on object and we capture as many views of that object because object is steady and available for capturing. As we discussed, whenever we go for 3D, it will be difficult to building database. So two possible approaches are there. Reconstruction method, that is use 3D to 3D transformation, extract shapes from various methods for object views, or decompose 3D view in 2D views and then back project. In 2D views you need camera calibration so that 2D can create 3D. Object center representation requires a coordinate system either in 2D or 3D, and from the view we are extracting the 2D features or 3D features of the object. Let us see now one example. Now here hammer is object. Now our total view is on hammer. Now what are features here? How hammer can be defined? Hammer can be defined with a particular shape. Hammer is having handle and hammer is having head. And the head is having there are various types of curvatures like convex curvature or the concave curvature. So we are finding shape. Then there are line segments. Not only line segments, they are again intersecting each other. So I can find various types of conditions for matching graph. For example, if I start from this, so if I am having this is A point, so this is A point, this is B point. So line AB I have, this is C point, this is D point. Then line AB intersects to the BC, intersects to the BC or AC and BD likewise. So I can make conditions based on these conditions. I can make graph matching approach. Now here all these segments, curvature segments, straight line segments, all these are said as features and that we are matching. So first technique is graph based matching. Second technique is now shape based matching, where known shapes will be extracted from a particular object. For example, rectangles or 3D shapes or circular shapes will be extracted and then we try to match. This is similar to CAD/CAM approach or based on constructive solid geometry. We dissolve that particular shape. So this is overall shape. Now this shape presents various object sets. So this is cylindrical object one part, then later on likewise. And each shape by shape we try to match the object. So shape based constructive geometry approach, this is what called as. Another part is now spatial occupancy. So overall object can be dissolved with known shape. So we got a particular area which may be regular area or composite area or complex area. We have various known shapes. Now what we can do, we will be now decomposing this complex area with known area. This is also we can do or perform in CAD/CAM approach. So spatial occupancy, that means this is unit area whose dimensions are also known. So we place, for example, we can place these 5 blocks here and we know what is exactly the width. Similarly, we decompose whole object. This is what called as spatial occupancy. That means how much space is occupied with unit shape. And then we can find out various parameters for matching. Now, another aspect is multiple view representation. When we enter in 3D, we can have various views and we can create a map or aspect graph and we will see that where exactly it is matching. We can assess shape to all regular space or irregular space viewpoints and we will match them to the selected viewpoints which are very important for us. Now, viewer centered representation. As now camera is in standard position, everything occurs from the view of camera. Here we can define what we want. Here you can see various conditions will be generated because it is object centered. We have to reach at object and we are looking at object or at its particular position. So many views are generated because every object cannot lie in the same position. On the contrary, when I fix at camera, I will wait till my object is coming in standard view. That's why the process will be becoming somewhat easier. Again, here also, we must have knowledge for all the other views. It is easier to build in object centered if you are having correct 2D information. Now in observer centered parts, we define as per positions. So and where we have to see the objects. Where we have to see the objects. So that space is underlined. And we see the objects in relative camera position. Now camera position is more important because observable view is very important. And we have to wait till our favorable view is there. When it comes in favorable view, then we capture the object.